Hey, good morning everyone. This is Peter Stone. I'm just arriving at my company here in Thailand. Well, I've been in Thailand for a little while. I'm just coming into my office here, and I thought I should do a little video here. I don't think a lot of people realize how easy it is, since so many people are working online these days. How easy it is. You know, did you ever think of making your own line of jewelry? Oh, this would be so cool to design this. It would be a lot of fun. Oh, I love that design. I'd like to make my own jewelry. Well, you can do that. It is really pretty fast, pretty simple, and pretty easy. We've been doing this here for quite a few years, making jewelry for 37 years. I got a team in here. Designers, marketers, and upstairs we have model makers. They used to be here, but that's turning into a classroom because we're opening up Peter Stone Jewelry University, coming here soon, so that you can learn how to do a jewelry business. It really isn't complicated, and especially today, when you have a team behind you, we give you the marketing material, your brand, not my brand. But if you want to start with my brand, I'm happy to help you go. There's a lot of drop shipping. You can do drop shipping. It's so easy. We've been doing drop shipping. My crew has arrived. This is the kind of life you want, right? Here is my clothes for videos later today. And my lovely manager here over in Otini, Hong Tini, over in the other, in here. So, yeah. So, thanks, little interruption here, getting my morning coffee, tea, my water, and getting ready to do a couple of videos exactly on drop shipping, exactly on our affiliate program. So what does the affiliate program mean? Well, let's make it short, fast, and simple. It means you're online all day long. That's how we're seeing each other. We're seeing each other all day long. And so we share, we do this, we do that, but why not make some money? Especially if you're already a customer of Peter Stone and you're buying jewelry and you love it, wear it, post it, put a link, put the affiliate link, then the first 3 different people to buy jewelry from you, you get 100% credit for whatever they bought. So if somebody bought $100, you get $100 free. If the next piece they bought was $75, you get $75 free. And the next one, suppose it was $50. Now you've got $225 worth of retail jewelry free. That's crazy. Nobody's doing that. I'm doing that. And actually, I was going to do more, but my software won't allow me right now. But that's something you can look forward to in the future. But first thing is get kick-started, learn how it works. It's very simple. We're going to be sending out emails. There'll be a link. You can come back here. I'll be posting links about the affiliate program. The drop ship couldn't be any simpler. And that's really already if you have a company. Small, medium, large, or you want to start a company, we give you the images, you post them, the people order them, you send them to our website, they order them, we can drop ship for you. There's a lot of different ways, and I'm putting it all together in a nice, clean, easy package for you to understand. 1, affiliate program. 2, drop shipping. If you're already a business, you don't have to invest a dime. You just have to send an order. For example, last night I was sitting in my desk at home doing some work. I got an email. A woman who usually takes care of our invoicing on PayPal sends me an email. I mean, she didn't show up, but her manager showed up and said, "Peter, we need to send this invoice." And I'm like, well, that's nice. $204.48 to be exact. And this gentleman has been doing dropship with us for many years. He's a big company, actually. But he wants to have a big expanse, a big choice. He doesn't want to carry all that inventory. So what does he do? He puts up the 100 or 200 pieces he has in stock. Then he puts up another 100 of like things that he knows he can sell. And he is selling. Every day we get orders from him. And at the end of the week, he sold another 500 or 700. Some people doing $1,000 a week in drop ship. Anywhere in the world. We had a company in Ireland that would get orders in America and we would drop ship. So he didn't have to go through customs and package shipment and spend that extra money to ship it all over to the United States. And if you have a company in the United States and you sell to Germany, we can drop ship to Germany. We can drop ship anywhere in the world, including the North Pole. We'll get it there. We've been doing this a long time. This wasn't yesterday. We're not the new kid on the block. We have years and years of experience that is valuable to you. I mean, it's priceless, really. You don't want to make the mistakes I made. I was just thinking about it this morning. Actually, I made a post of how many mistakes. People did a post. They said, I don't have money. How can I do this? And I don't have this and I don't have this. I'll tell you what. You don't have the mindset is what you don't have. I'll teach you how to have the mindset because it was a day in my life when I used to work on ships and I partied a little too hard. I'm lucky I'm alive. And in some of those days, I looked up to see the bottom. I made a lot of money, I drank a lot, and I did a lot of other cool things that may not lend themselves to good health and well-being. But I flipped it all around. And I really felt I was looking up. So you hear the stories, he hit bottom, she hit bottom, it was so bad. So what I say is I went straight through the bottom and I was looking up at the bottom. That's about how I felt. And I know there are people out there that feel the same way. And I'll tell you what, I can get you through this bullshit, okay? I can get you through the madness. I've been through it. I went in the woods 12 years partying hard, a confused kid, making more money than I could ever dream of. I flipped a Porsche at 70 miles an hour. I went 144 feet in the air, hit a tree 15 feet high, bounced off it, the car flipped, and landed on me upside down. The only thing was my head was sticking out from the car and my arms face down. If I had a seatbelt, I would have been dead. Dead. So that didn't really wake me up. And I thought a couple more years of this stuff ought to be good. Maybe I'll get some more practice in. And that's another story. I did a video. It's another story. But I made it through. And then one day, I decided, a dim light. Man, I've had enough. And I meant it. And I listened to every word that someone bigger and better and had more and had apparently a better life than me. And what did I do? I didn't complicate things. And I went to a 30-day program. It's very expensive. I knew it was like the best in the area, and I had the money. I worked hard. Thank God. And I committed. And you know what I did? I remember. I'm in this place, the third day. And there's 4 people in this room. It's a really high-end area, but when you first get in there, they throw you in there like a piece of meat. But it doesn't matter because you've got to go through this cleansing and shaking and feeling really crappy. And so I'm laying in bed, and we have this new patient. And he weighs 312 pounds. And he's laying in his bed. And he's snoring. And I'm man, I'm not feeling very good. This guy is making an orchestra. And I go, an orchestra. Why don't I turn his snoring into music, why don't I find the beat and the rhythm of his snoring? And that is like how I got my first lesson in mind management. So I do a course on mind management. I've managed my life. I've changed my whole life. But I listen to others. Brilliant people. Life Mastery, very expensive from Tony Robbins. I spent like 10 grand, plus getting there, plus a hotel, plus condo. And that's after 10 years of working to improve myself. Because I wouldn't quit. Never, ever quit. I always persisted. And books. I would have books. Books. These are mostly design books. But in my home and in my office, my other office in America, I had books and tapes and CDs. I just like, I felt the doubt. How am I going to get through this? I don't know. Grab a book. Somebody got through it. How do I do it? So I did. And one of the books was One Door Opens, Another Door Closes. So how do you apply that? You apply that to, I didn't get what I wanted, so that door closes. But you know what I know? When I don't get what I want, I've always got better than I thought I wanted. That's the magic of life. So when I got to have it my way, we got to do this. This is the way it's got to be. This is it. Why didn't you do it this way? It doesn't work. Bam. Bullshit. Okay? That is a lie. That's a nice to plan. But our best plans get wrenches dropped in them. So we can learn more and we change direction and we get a better outcome than we could ever dream. How do I know? I traveled to over 100 countries. I know life is amazing when you let it. So in this post this morning, people said, oh man, how am I going to make some money? I really want to do this, but I don't really have enough money. I'm like, really? Okay. So there was a day when I was doing the drinking and I wanted a beer and a 6-pack of beer, and I was in Key West. And I was working on shrimp boats because I love the ocean. And this is when I was working on merchant, making a lot of money. So on my holidays, I went to Key West and I worked on shrimp boats so I could eat shrimp, all the shrimp, something new, physical. It was like back in the late 70s, living on Duval Street. I had stores on Duval Street actually after that. But I lived on Caroline Street. And anybody knows Jimmy Buffett, he sings about Caroline Street. And the Mascot Bar was just down the street. What a trip. So when you got to make some money, I sat on a dock. And when the shrimp boats come in, they don't have enough time to pop the heads off the shrimp. So I'm like, okay, I could do that. And there's a trick to it. You can snap your fingers. So you put the shrimp between your fingers and you go, and the head goes that way and the body stays in your hand. But there's an art to it. So there's an art to everything in life. No matter how menial or how great we may think it is, everybody's got a job to do. So why not do it good? Apply and put your pride in what you do. So how many pounds of shrimp could I do in an hour, right? Boom. Well, how thirsty was I, right? The determining factor. So the point is, getting back to not having money, Jesus, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of ways to make money. So coming full circle, it's the faith. You need to know that I don't have the money today. Sometimes I hear family, oh, we don't have the money for that. I'm like, really? We're getting that, okay? We're getting that house. I don't care. It's not right here today. Guess what? You have the confidence, the ability, the strength. especially today. Online, you go click, click, look, look, learn, learn. Click, click, look, look, learn, learn. Oh, I didn't like that. That's not very interesting. Oh, really? Well, what is interesting to you? What is interesting? What fires you up? And I'll tell you what, if you try to do something that doesn't fire you up, I mean, yeah, for a little bit, you got to make some money sometime. And that's the vehicle to get to what your passion is. And if you're not plugged in to your passion, you're screwing up, okay? Now you're kind of failing. I would call that like a failure. You know, people say, oh, I failed. I'm like, bullshit, you didn't fail. You did something you didn't like internally. You didn't connect with it. It didn't matter that much to you, but you went after the big carrot, the big buck, the shiny car, the shiny house, the big house, whatever it is that you went after, that is just a shallow thing. I mean, I've had all kinds of cars. I don't know how many cars I've rented around the world. Hundreds of cars, hundreds of different countries. And I remember Australia. They screwed me up. They put the wiper on the wrong side. So every time I hit the signal, I looked like an idiot driving through Australia. A beautiful sunny day. It hadn't rained for 50 days. And Peter's driving with his wipers. Like, where did this guy come from? Well, even in England, when I was living there with my family, the roundabouts, hundreds of roundabouts. If you're from England, you know precisely what I'm talking about. You drive sometimes 200 meters, roundabout, another 200 meters, roundabout. And that's cool if you know how to drive on the other side of the road. Thank God, I've been living in Thailand for a long time, so I learned many years ago to drive on the other side of the road. So, coming in there and getting out, what I didn't ever learn, because here in Thailand we don't have many roundabouts, what I didn't learn was, you go in the roundabout, and how the hell do you get out? Once you're in there, which lane do you get in? Sometimes it's 3 lanes, sometimes there's 2 lanes, there's never 1 lane. So I would be cutting people off, like I'm like going around 3 times. I'm like, how the heck do I get out of here, right? And I'm like, well, I'm just going for it. And then what do I get? Boom. Hey, yeah, I know. So what did I do? I used to carry a help wanted sign in my building. So it was in my car. I'm driving back to my business in Bridport in the UK, where I had a gallery with Courtney Davis, and we sold jewelry not so far from Glastonbury, a 45-minute drive. My family and I live there. So I'm driving back and I'm going, oh my God, I need help. I need to learn how to drive in these roundabouts. This is nuts. So these challenges in life, they're so rich and they're so exciting. And yeah, people get upset, but what I found out is they are the ones that are upset. They could laugh like I do sometimes. Oh, this guy taught me a lesson in California. He cut in front of me. I cut in front of him. He smiled. Okay? But when I did that in the UK, they didn't smile. And the same thing in Boston years ago. They didn't smile. So we have a choice to smile. So I put that help wanted sign in the window of my car. And my cell phone, my local cell phone number, because I really wanted help. I wanted help to learn how to drive through this new adventure that I never knew. And I see Renate here, and she lives in Singapore. So I came to Singapore one day on a merchant ship. First time in Singapore, and I'm on a container ship, boring. You come to port for 18 hours, you turn around and you leave. And that's why I quit a 6-figure year job when they changed it to a motor ship. But anyway, the adventure. I have time off. I got off the ship, and I'm like, okay, where do I go? So I went out, I walked through, I was a merchant engineering officer, and I walked out to the gate, to the main road. And trying to figure out Singapore, I didn't have a cell phone back in that day. It wasn't like, oh, you click on the phone, where am I going? No. First, you had to find a map. Where do they have maps? Okay, sometimes on the ship, they might have them in the lounge, in the library. But anyway, I'm like, oh, this bus is coming. I go, I wonder where that came from. And I look up and there's some like name I don't know. And where is this bus going to? That I really don't know either. And I really didn't even know where I was, other than there was a gate. And there wasn't like a phone in my pocket to take a picture of where I was. So I got to find a pen or a pencil or go to the guard gate, get the address so I can get back just in case I screwed up. So I get on the bus and I figure, well, the bus is going to come back, right? It's got to come back. It came here. Look, it came this way. It's going that way. It's got to come back this way. I see the number. Lucky number, 777. No, not really. Anyway, so I get on that bus, but that's the way I think. Luck. Expect luck all the time. Expect nothing but the best in your day. Don't, like if you say, listen to yourself in a day. Listen. How many times you say, oh, yeah, well, I don't even know how to say it. How do you say it when I don't know, you were writing with a pencil and it broke? Well, I expect that to happen. I don't know. I don't even know how to say it anymore. Well, that figures because that always happens to me. That's what it is. That's what it is. And I talked with a friend of mine who, drama. Ever since I've known him, drama, but he's calmed down. So he's in Act 89 of drama. And I'm like, well, you've come quite a ways, and you got a long way to go. Choosing to find drama, choosing to create drama. Okay, so forget that. But let's just go to everyday stuff. Like, you're driving, you're standing there, and there's a puddle, and someone drives by, and you get wet. And you go, oh man, just my luck. No, that's not the way it is. You got diverted. Whatever it is that you were going to do, you got diverted. So the way I think of it, and the way the common, everybody knows the seed of opportunity kind of thing, yeah, you can say it. You can say, I know there's a seed of opportunity, but if you do not jump, it's hard work. Shit, here I am, dripping wet, on my way to someplace that I'm not going to make on time. There's something bigger and better for that. So you just keep going. So I got on that bus in Singapore. I went, and guess what? I ate a few things. I went out and discovered places I'd never seen before. Went out with the local people and see how they lived. Find out what the life and the culture really is in Singapore. So I've done this all over the world. And I think when we have the mindset, say, oh yeah, that always happens to me. Car pulls out just when I need parking. That's the mindset. It's hard to work into that because we've been taught, and we've heard that, right? Oh, just my luck, just my luck. And it's always a connotation to something less than useful. So I suggest in a day, just one day. So let's just pick one lesson here. Let's pick a lesson for the day. And that lesson might be, because I just hop on the phone and I don't know what I'm really going to say. But I really was going to talk about this jewelry catalog right here in case you want to be an artist. But I think we can be an artist and we can sell and we can do business all we want. But we need to do and enjoy what we're doing. It's so important because then you go through life joyfully. Sure, we get challenges every day. And how do we handle them? Happily. We see the challenges, keep the vibe high. And I'll tell you what, when the worst moments happen, when we kind of do it like water off the back of a duck, and we engage, but we don't get pulled down. We don't react like with negativity to attract less than useful stuff to us. We keep upbeat, and then solutions come faster, easier, better because of our mindset. Then when we expect them to come, just let's layer it up, let's stack it up. Let's stack this baby up of what's the upside? What's the possible upside? What is a single possible? I mean, here you are. You're like, you got dealt something that is really, like, sometimes even devastating. So you've got a whole range of 0 to 100, which is all minus in your eyes. It's not a plus. So you want to flip that over and say, let's turn it around. Let's take that whole minus scale and flip it to a positivity scale and say, sit down at the desk, right? We'll sit down at our desk and we'll grab a piece of paper. And I love graph paper. I don't know about you, but I just love graph paper, and I love to write. And all my 1.0 pens are here. So we draw So we're here, we draw a graph, right? We sit here and we draw a graph. So we have this 0 to minus 100 thing. This is the stuff we are not comfortable with that happens, right? So we just had a minus 30, all right? So if we take this minus 30 on this graph, minus 30, and then flip it over, just take your computer, flip it over, and let's turn it to a plus 30, right? So this is the stuff, and this is the benefit, right? So this is the benefit, okay? So that's the benefit. So now you took a minus 30 energetic, like, I don't like to use a bad thing because it's not really bad. It's a less than useful, and that's part of my mind management training. I don't like to say bad. I don't want to use the word bad. I don't need that vibrating in my head or around me or anything. So I choose to say this minus 30 thing is less than useful, okay? Without getting, totally engaged and all wound up. Look, I just had an experience. I don't like it. What am I going to do? Am I going to react and go crazy and be out of my mind? Or am I going to flip it? Am I going to flip it and turn it to a positive and ask questions. Ask questions. Right? Ask questions. Not, why does this always happen? Don't ask that, because you'll get an answer. We know that. I've been taught that. Many people have vibrated that mindset. No, ask a question that is useful. Ask the question that says, how am I going to turn what happened, or how am I going to find the usefulness of what happened? It may not be in 2 minutes, may not be in 5 minutes, may not be in a day. It may be in a week. And you just get through that. But in the meantime, you have to live your life. And you have to go forward from the moment that minus 30 thing happened. And go forward with expectation that, something good is going to come out of that. That's just like it took me 5 flights. I booked 5 flights to get back to Thailand. But the funny thing is, the first flight, they booked it, but it wasn't allowed into Thailand, so I had to cancel it. The next flight I booked, the visa team decided I overpaid them, so they needed to wait for less money to issue my visa. Because overpaying didn't work. And it wasn't security. They needed exactly $80. So I didn't make my flight because I didn't send my visa in time. Then the next time I had my COVID test. And oh my God, it was 74 hours. Like they're trying, all these places said, oh no, it takes 2 to 5 days. I'm like, how the hell am I going to do this? And so I did take the test, and I thought I would, they said at the time you check in, not the time the flight left. So I checked in 3 hours early. I thought I had a little space there. Oh, no, 11 o'clock at night, you can't go. My daughter was already 30 minutes back on her way to Massachusetts. I was in New York. I called her. She came back, picked me up, and drove back home. Then, the next time, I made it. And I made it all the way to Thailand. I got on the plane, showed them all my documents in the airport. You have to have everything in order or you can't get on the plane by the Thai government rules. But I got on the plane, I flew all the way to Thailand, and they wouldn't let me in. They refused to let me in because I didn't have a piece of paper that said, you have all the documents that we say you have. And that's how I got on the plane, because the girl saw I had all the documents I needed, but I didn't have the piece of paper from the embassy that said, oh, you have all the documents that you say you have, with a stamp on it. So I got there. I sat for 6 hours. I waited for the plane to go back. So you see, you can laugh. And it cost me money. I didn't get that money back, but some of the first flights, yes, and some of the other ones got transferred. And then the 5th time, I made sure I had that piece of paper. And I flew, and I came here. And it took me 75 days plus the Q Club. The Q Club 14 days that was a kilometer from my house. I couldn't get here. So I stayed in this hotel paying a nice sum of money. And my wife and my house is just down the street. My swimming pool might have the whole 9 yards. And it was fine because okay, what can I do in those 14 days? I can be productive. So I did. And I wrote and did a lot of cool stuff. I just had a nice, beautiful view. And I just made the moments valuable. And so that's kind of like taking the stuff that we get that, we're saying, like, why did that happen to me? Why always me? Well, if you keep asking why always me, you'll get more of why always me. But if you say, what's the benefit in this? How am I going to flip it? You flip it. Then you ask questions. What are the actual benefits? And if you can't find them, you wait. And eventually, they'll come. So, it rained for like 2 months in Thailand. In all that period, in that 75-day period, it rained a lot. And it was muggy, and it was sticky, and it was like the weather that I really don't appreciate. So, the gift. When I got here, I was in my hotel for the 14 days, and I got out, and 1 week was a little cloudy, and the breeze started coming. It rained a little bit, but not much, for a week. Then November 1st showed up. Bam! Temperature dropped, the air's dry, the breeze, a beautiful 15 mile an hour, 20 mile an hour breeze, warm, balmy, tropical breeze every day. Sunshine. You see, I haven't got my windows yet cleaned. I'm going to hang out here on safety belts because it rains so much. So there's no sense in cleaning the windows when it's going to rain again. So we're making sure there is no rain, and then we'll clean them. But this is my office. So, what did I want to talk about here? I wanted to talk about That catalog is the Jewelry Artist Gallery of Peter Stone. So what did I do to create this catalog? Well, I did a lot of traveling, and I discovered a lot of people, fascinating people, interesting people around the world. And they had art. In the first artist case, he wrote a book about animal totems, and he had some kind of like simple sketches in his book, and his name was Ted Andrews. He's no longer with us, but he's an amazing author, and he works on Native American art and stories and the value of animals in our life. So he talks about each animal in the book, and when they come into your life, what does that mean, and what happens in your life? What changes when an eagle shows up a lot at your house, or a raven, or a bison? You're out on the plains, or hummingbirds come around you often, and you see turtles on the beach, or otters and barn owls. So he commissioned us. I talked to him. He was in the same trade fair doing books and speaking. He spoke all over the world. And I said, hey, Ted, let's do a line of jewelry. He said, sure. I said, just give me your 25 top subjects. And we did it for him. We did all these designs for Ted, who passed on. What a great guy Ted was. He just had such a wonderful message. I highly suggest you go check out some of his books, Ted Andrews. And you can find this jewelry at peterstone.com. But my point of showing this was Jessica Galbraith. She did a certain jewelry line of fairies, dragons, goddesses. And she decided one day she would not live in that world anymore, and she decided to change her religious status and not do this anymore. And she wrote books, and she did diaries. And Bridget Ashwood, we still do work with her. She helped design this line here. She designed all these based on the divine mysteries. I did this cylinder actually, and I rotated this cylinder. These pieces rotate, and that was the book by Brown that was so popular years ago. And then we went to England. Michelle Campbell, Linda Biggs, she had fun. She was from Maryland. She had fun fairies. And then Sasha St. John from Half Moon Bay in California she had a lot of different art. But we decided, well, let's take these few pieces and convert it. And Selena Fenish from Australia. Look at this piece here. Her motherhood piece is like one of the most amazing sellers. People love it. You can see what it says, right? I mean, you don't have to write a story about that piece. So she's an amazing artist. She did all this art, and you can go to Selena Fenish, her website, and check out her art. She has clothes, she has paintings. I don't know everything she has these days, but she has a lot. Jasmine Beckett Griffith was kind of a funky artist. So we like a little diversity, a little bit of variety, because we don't know what the world wants, but we'll try. Amy Zerner, a New York artist out on Long Island in the Hamptons. Her husband's written many books, and she does clothing, and they have this line of cards, right? The tarot cards, tarot deck, and the goddesses. So she puts the goddesses and all this art on her clothes, and this is a necklace we made for her. This long necklace is just a beautiful piece. And we make it in gold too. We had one ordered in gold. It was, nice. Maxine Miller is a Hollywood tattoo artist that was represented by Michael McFarlane, who is a Celtic, Scottish guy who's up in the Highlands. He does a lot of Highland fairs. All these people are just fascinating. They have interesting stories. So we do a lot of variety, a lot of edgy stuff, and a lot of mainstream stuff, like the Claddagh. And a lot of this goes back in historical Celtic times and Viking times. So there's a big variety. And then this wolf walker, this woman kind of made a mess of us, so you got to make sure who you believe. So this is a Native American line that she designed and inspired us to complete under her instruction. Then we have Courtney Davis, who is a Celtic artist. We had a gallery with Courtney. He's all trimmed up. This is an older catalog. He has a website. He's still in Ireland now. We were in England, and we had our gallery called the Gallery of Secrets was a name I chose for that. So we had his art on one side, amazing Celtic art. And then what we did was take his art and transform it into this jewelry line. And then we did displays for stores, which are not as such in demand. This is really a wholesale catalog, but we send this to retail buyers. And I show you this catalog because I don't know how many artists in here, 12, 14, but we've worked with more than 50 artists, probably around 65 or 70 to date. I was just looking at this one. We worked with the scuba diving industry and sea life, and so this woman did a line of art with us from Miss Scuba International 2015. She loved jewelry. She kept on coming back to our booth, and she says, "Oh, I have some designs. Can you make them?" And I said, "Sure." And there they are. These are some of her pieces right there. And she inspired us. We did these mermaid tails, and this piece is just, people really love this piece with the gold and the silver. But, so you see the difference in these catalogs, right? This was the old day before, there's our coffee line, rainbows. This catalog, I mean, we have all kinds of variety here of jewelry. Celtic, magical, triangles, a rainbow line. We've got elegant jewelry. We've got across the whole. Here's another artist right here. John, he's from England, and his wife, he's got a beautiful book. So it goes on, and this is the catalog we did for Courtney Davis a long time ago. 2006, which was an ideal time to move to England because I'm a commodity trader and the exchange rate was 2 for 1. When you put £1 in the bank, you got $2 out in the United States. So that made moving to England very affordable, very desirable, and I benefited by my jewelry lines and by Forex, trading Forex. So I kind of do a lot of different things. So there's Irish crosses here, a lot of different crosses that are historical. This is all historical. So Peter Stone does a lot of historical, and a lot of Courtney's work, he's a bit more of an illustrator than an artist, but he does both. But he takes existing art and kind of modifies it. And but a lot of it inspired by the Kells, the Book of Kells in Ireland. So rather than using these glossy, non-environmentally friendly, because everything's online, I mean, look, these catalogs, I've got like 60 or 70 of them. We stopped printing them. Because if we need a catalog, we go to the printer and we give you a nice 4-color printed catalog like this. So it's just good for the environment and good for freight. So we have catalogs online we can send to you. You can explore Peter's Stone line. You can be inspired by the Peter Stone line. And you can have your own collection, your brand, your name. We can do it your way, not my way. But you can get our 25 plus years of refining, making jewelry. So for example, this one beautiful bracelet. So this is a Peter Stone original, the Wolf Pack. It's a gorgeous piece. Look at this. Look at the detail in this, right? That was made in that room right next to me where the model makers used to be. So in an effort to cut environmentally non-supportive costs like extra air conditioning, we put them together with another team in a bigger room. So that's efficiency. So this is sterling silver. It can be gold, but this took more than a month to make. It's just a beautiful piece. It's solid. It is a really nice piece. Then we did this. These are coins that were found. We did this for Treasure Sales, a company called Treasure Sales in California. Jack Monnier, he bought silver bars from the wreck of the Etosha, and he sent some of them to us, the original silver bars from 1622. Melt them down, turn them into silver grain. The ship, the cargo that was on the ship. Then we made replica coins and replica jewelry. It's in one of our catalogs. I'll talk about it later. So the point is, we do a lot of custom work and we do healing jewelry. So this copper, now we use copper from the wreck because the silver's all gone. So there's copper bars. That piece is not from the wreck, not the copper. But now we make sterling silver coins still, and we frame them in the copper. It's a beautiful contrast, the red of the copper. So this is a copper bracelet for health and healing. I mean, a lot of people know all about copper. I wear it on occasion to get copper into my system. It is needed, and if you study copper, it goes way back, probably way before the Egyptians, but it's used medicinally. And this little ring I made, inspired by Tony Robbins in 2005 at I think a Date with Destiny event on the Gold Coast. So Tony had a similar ring like this, and I said, wow, Tony, that's a cool ring. I think I'll go make my own version. And it can only be worn, in my case, on the left hand. I think it might have been like Tony's wedding ring or something. I don't know. I don't really know. Never asked him about it. But from miles away, or many meters away and feet, I just kind of glimpsed and said, that's an interesting ring. So when we talk about mind management, coming full circle to a lot of things, yeah, it is a long live, but you can take whatever you want. You can come back later. We're going to chop all of this up. Inside this ring, I have always had an edge on courage. Like since I was a kid, I would go out the ocean in the rough sea in a little rowboat. And I think it was just an adventure. Maybe I didn't have enough common sense, but I never drowned, obviously. Always err on the edge of safety, right? Always respect the sea and the ocean, and kind of look all directions, 360. Your senses get really elevated when you're on the sea. They must be. So inside this ring, I did this one really quick. This is an original, and it says passion, courage, and focus. So one of my biggest challenges is because I'm a madman entrepreneur, doing way too many projects, but I got it down to like 3 from 30. Okay, restaurants, coffee roasting, home sales program, retail stores, on and on and on. But hey, commodity trader, I have commodity trading license. It's just, all this stuff up here, wealth mastery, and all. I mean, it's paper, it's experience. Learn it, do it. Next, what else is exciting in life? What's the next adventure? I mean, life is not boring. It is not boring. It's just boring about as you make it. And if you think you're going to stay inside your house, I don't buy that stuff. I go out. I do what I got to do, and I do it safely. I mean, there's some people that are concerned about what's going on, and I can just tell you, for 2.5 months, I traveled from Florida, Massachusetts, New York, Massachusetts. I flew to Florida, and then I drove back to Massachusetts, and then I flew back to Florida, and then I drove, the car somehow it's in Massachusetts. So I drove like a couple times up and down the East Coast, stopping and stops, and I mean, not in crowds, and I just common sense rules. So then on the planes, I mean, in one I look like Darth Vader. I've got a mask and a plastic thing, and the light is shining, and the angle is like, one day I'll post that picture, but it's pretty amusing. And the next flight, so I did fly around the world actually trying to get back here. The first flight went through Qatar, which was a busy airport. Then I flew back through there to New York. And then the next flight was New York through Seoul, Korea. So both ended up in Bangkok. So anyway, safety. Every day, take my temperature in the morning, temperature at night. I think I had like 7 COVID tests. And I'm like, okay. And all levels of gentleness, and the first test here in Thailand, it's like sticking the bamboo stick down this girl was just a little rough. She didn't have to be, but she was. And but the next one was just like, piece of cake, like it was in the USA. So the point is, you don't have to stop your life unless you choose to. There's ways around everything, and we can't let people rule our life in the land of freedom. That is like the biggest. I mean, I truly, if anything in my entire life that maybe gave me, maybe after the days of party, that in the past 30 or 40 years has like made me a little bit off what's going on in America is very unsettling to me, and I'm sure to many other people. So, I won't go into that stuff, but I'm just saying I'll leave it at that. And when you take away my freedom, when you take away or try to, no. So, back to the jewelry. We drop ship. We do affiliate programs. So it's really easy. You got a thought? You want just a piece of jewelry for yourself? Let's make it for you. Then we have the lines, words that matter. What are the words that you think first thing in the morning? And all through the morning and up into the evening. Well, we just polished this. It's all nice and shiny. I don't think you can see the words. So These words are vibrant, focused, discipline. And this has an amazing lock on this. I mean, there are bracelets out there. Some people say, oh yeah, they're cheap. You can buy them on Etsy. You can't buy them with that screwed in piece that's not going to come out of leather. That locks in, and it's got a niobium magnet in it. Why? Because the first one failed. So I did a little bit of overkill here. This is a beautiful bracelet for men, for women. And then what's even better is if you want to change your words, if you want to change your focus for the month, you stepped up. So we start here in month 1 and we go to month 2 and we want to change our words. That sterling silver plate comes out. It's screwed in. We make jewelry. We don't screw around. I mean, this is real jewelry. You'll be hard pressed to find anything like this on Amazon or any of the online stores. And I just wanted to show you the quality of what we do. I mean, in the beginning, the jewelry sucked. Okay, I started a jewelry company because the jewelry I was getting was so bad and the designs it gave me was so bad. After 4 years, I realized I better do it myself. And I did. I didn't want to have a factory, but I did do it myself. And it got way worse before it got better, until I figured it out. And my wife was helping me. And then we brought in people who knew, and it just got better and better and better. And that's what we got today. We have all these beautiful things, and you can have your own line. It's really simple. And if you need us to set up a shop or a store for you, we can. We can populate it with jewelry. You don't have to take pictures. We have all the pictures. Everything is like done for you. And we'll done for you your own designs. You send us a sketch. So I'll just take a little trip here. So what you do, you send us a picture, you send us a sketch, and then you'll see right over there, that guy right there, he's going to take that sketch and turn it into a piece of finished design. We'll send you the sketch, you approve the sketch, then we make a wax mold, then you approve the detail of that by email, by however, Skype, doesn't matter, any way you want to do it, on Zoom, whatever. And then we make the actual silver piece and we send you more pictures. And we can twist it and turn it, you can look at all angles, and then you approve it, and then you've got your own personal piece of jewelry, or you have your own personal line, whatever your passion is. And in today's world, you can buy and resell anything, but it's you, your character, your special being, your special ideas, thoughts, creativity. That's you. That's the artist, the oneness, and the greatness of who you are. Peter Stone, hey, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to pop on here. We have, let's see, part of my entrepreneurial spirit, 45 Facebook pages. I have Peter Stone Retail, Peter Stone Wholesale, Dive Silver Jewelry Wholesale, Dive Silver Jewelry Retail, and Magic Symbols Wholesale Retail, Breezy Stone, a fashion line. We have Just Like Silver. Then we have Peter Stone Jewelry University. We have Peter Stone Recovery Jewelry, and I'm going to talk about that in another. Take you on my journey of recovery a little later. You'll be amused, but you'll find blessings, because I did. And we have a heck of a schedule ahead, because if I sit down with a map and do 100 countries, I can take you on a journey that you're going to love, because my way of living is far from standard, Oh, let's go do the tourist thing. No. Let's go find a sand dune in the south of Spain and stand under the moon, the full moon over the Mediterranean, and watch the moon reflect off the sea and connect with the powers that be. I'm telling you. If you don't do stuff like that, you're missing out on so much of life and the magic and the energy that can support you. Just call it. It'll come. I know. Because I've been through hell and high water and I'm still smiling. This is Peter from Peter Stone Jewelry, and we'll be doing this every day. Now that I've been trying to do this for like 3 months. So that comes right back to the stuff. I didn't get my schedule, but I know there's a benefit. So remember that one thing as you go through your day. Think about Peter Stone, what Peter Stone said. Peter Stone said, stop doing that. Oh yeah, it figures. That always happens. No, don't say it. Catch your thoughts. Manage your mind and stop that crap. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Stop it. Don't do it to yourself any longer. I did enough of that for years. But I know. I listened to the smart people. And I did what they said, and now I don't let that stuff bother me. You too, okay? When you take my freedom, that's the only thing that is a little gnawing at me. But I'm getting through it because I know there's something huge benefit there. Okay, so the greater the challenge, the bigger the benefit. When it's the worst in your life or the worst in the week, or when it's seems like it's just, I can't do it anymore. You know what? Tomorrow, or not far off, is something amazing. So I put on my business card that I don't use very much anymore, visionary. And that's how I've always run my business. I am a true visionary because I see way in front of me. And it comes full back to the beginning of this Facebook Live when I was talking about, I don't have enough, I can't do that. Oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Get a piece of paper. Downside, upside, challenges, upside. What do you need to do? What are my skills? What can I do? What can I learn to do? How can I do it? How can I make that money? Then go do what I want to do. How can I do whatever it is that I want to do? There's a way, there's a way, there's a way, and it's much easier today than it ever was. So I've got some videos to make, and please say, yeah, that's right. That always happens to me. When I pull up and I need parking in the busy city, somebody just pulls out and I got my parking. 4th of July, 1 block from where the fireworks go off. 30 minutes before the fireworks. Pull up, expecting nothing but the best. I expect the best to happen, and it does. Not the other side. Please, when you have that thought of, oh, what is it? No, please say, no, I'm not going there. I'm flipping my thought to, I expect the best to happen, and it will. And it takes a while for that to get in your solar plexus, in your being, and for you to believe it. Because what you've been believing so long, so far, so many times, is a lie. But it's not a lie, you're just setting the platform of your life. So don't do that anymore, because I mean, some people like pain, but I'll tell you what, I don't. Well, maybe I did for a while, but I'll tell you what, enough is enough, and it's time to move on. That could help you. One, just one. And see that smile? That's why I'm here, because I don't see enough of them in the world. Okay? And I'm so pleased. And there's a reason I live in a country whose motto is the land of smiles. Okay? That's their marketing line. Come to Thailand, the land of smiles. It's true. No matter what's happening around these people. Some are very wealthy and some are very poor, but they're not really poor. They say, fish in the river, rice in the field. Hello. Oh, my neighbor, I don't have very much, but my neighbor has nothing. I give it to them. I'll share it. Because there may be a day for them someplace that they don't have it. So it's this mindset that there's always enough. Maybe not in the moment, but it will show up. Okay? So I'll tell you, I've helped the Thais tremendously with their cleanliness and self-worth and values in my company for 20. Some of these people have worked here for 28 years, 29, one of them. And there's a reason. And this is them in my house in 1991. And they're still here. Here. Back here. A couple of these people are here. A couple of these back here, they're here. He married her, and their kids are about almost as old as they are in that picture. Their lives have changed dramatically. Matter of fact, he's got a beautiful truck outside here where people are getting whacked with motorcycles out on the highway. They can afford because they work in a good company and they're people and they get treated that way. So make your day one with smiles. And even if it's hard, go in front of the mirror and grab an ice cream cone and smile, eat it. Just do it. Just get out of the crap and feel good. Feel good now. I mean, there's no use in feeling any other way. Regardless of what's going on, it's kind of separating the two, okay? Anyway, I'm going to do a lot of training on this stuff later, and I'm like boiling over because I've been sitting around waiting to do this stuff for really, quite frankly, for years. And we got a system in place that's going to make the positive mindset and energy available to a lot of people that otherwise, I mean, there's a few people, wild, crazy people out there, and I just joined a club called the 1% Crazy, and I really like the 1% Crazy because I'm really at the 0.1%. Just living life like a loose garment, okay? You wear life as a loose garment, and then you won't crack and break so much. Just a little flexibility. I mean, I understand serious business is serious business. You do what you got to do, but you've got to not break, okay? Don't break. Flow, flow, flow. Do what you got to do. Live your life in your own way is your success. Living your life in your own way. Not my way. Not someone else's way that tells you how to live. You go, get your paper, and write down a list. What I don't like to do. What I like to do. And then leave all the stuff of what I don't like to do. Leave all the stuff of what I don't like to do. Sometimes we've got to do stuff that we don't want to. Okay, that's fine. That's just life. But I'm talking about the stuff you have total control over. And your decisions of what you do when you get up in the morning, you get in your car, you go sit in the traffic for a paycheck to go in a stuffy building that's, I suppose today, they say it's not healthy, right? So, I mean, please get the smile where it belongs. Do the things you love to do. Do the things that are going to help people along the journey. So, I'll just leave it right there. A couple of things you can do, okay? Just start now. Make your life the sculpture that it really is. Peter Stone, and I'll be back. I can't wait. All right, y'all have a good day. And, I'm going to drink my coffee and my tea I got to say, I've been living really good for 25 years here. We have a house manager and 2 service people here. Food's ready at noon every day. Dinner's ready at night. Dinner's ready in the morning. And it's an exchange of love and caring, right? We help each other. It's not like, oh, you got a maid, you got a servant. No, there are a lot of people that like to give and be of service. Like I like to be of service, and I can't wait to share the crap that I learned got rid of. I learned to get rid of the crap, and I learned to get the positive, uplifting, powerful things into my life, and then share that with other people so their life gets better. It's a really simple thing. See ya.